Do we make faces? Tell us when to make faces.
It hurts.
Did it work?
I don't know. We don't know until we see the thumbnail.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
It's a boring thumbnail.
It always is.
It captured us like Harlow scratching his nose.
Always do.
Well, maybe we can custom pick the one where we're all making stupid faces,
Maybe.
and then put
One
some
day.
impact font on top of it.
It's not like that day you fired off explosives in the studio.
I don't recall that one.
It was
I had that
whatever
big giant
anniversary
popper
was where he
thing.
fired off confetti.
No,
poppers
it
or
wasn't.
whatever.
That's the best thing is it wasn't an anniversary. It was just some random ass episode. I'd been sitting on that thing like waiting for some big number, and then I finally was just like, you know what? It'll be funnier if I just like, hey, episode 452.
Like, why is he gonna suicide bomb us? What the fuck is he doing?
It would have been funnier if it had popped the first time.
Yeah.
When you didn't have time to know what it was. I had no idea how much confetti that was going to put out. I mean, it was a big tube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's a big tube.
Yeah, big tube.
That's why it's funny.
Yes.
Uh,
Frank Big Tube.
Frank.
Oh, there we go. Franklin. My Frank was my father. Call me Franklin Big Tube. All right. All right.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's here yet. I don't think. I don't know. It says some concurrent viewers, but it's probably just y'all. Y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah, that's right. I busted out a y'all.
Hey,
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
So, what is your abbreviation? What is your spelling of y'all?
Y''ALL.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
the spelling
So-
of y'all.
Do you get angry like I do when they type it YA''LL?
Yes, that's incorrect.
Yowl.
I've never seen anyone do that, but now I'll probably
I
be on
see
the
it
lookout.
all the time.
Well, I'm
All
also
the
not
time.
on Facebook, so
All the time.
I generally
the
get to
time.
filter out some of my stupid. I was
And
gonna,
then
I was gonna
I-
say all, and that's
And then I unfriend them on Facebook and I say, I need you to know why. This is why. Change your ways. Get better. Do better. Be better. Y''ALL.
Word.
If you can't figure that out, just give up. Just,
I mean,
just,
yes. I mean,
just walk
I would
into the
rather you
ocean.
take out the apostrophes and put it in the wrong place. I would rather it just be
Yes.
YALL, and I would.
Or people who just put the apostrophe before pluralized things for no particular reason.
before, like just apostrophe S. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unless it's like DVDs. And then I don't know. What's the nomenclature there? Is it DVD apostrophe S?
I think if it's any acronym and it's a plural, it's technically supposed to be an apostrophe, but I think it also looks weird in modern writing.
It does.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I would like in something like that. I would go capital DVD, lowercase s.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I think technically speaking, there should be periods and apostrophes and stuff. Except
True.
that DVD doesn't actually stand for anything.
I actually have a live stream exclusive because this will not play when we're on the air for the actual show. But give me 1 second. It pertains to DVDs.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
not really Blu-rays.
DVDs.
I was worried
nuts.
you were gonna whip out your dick.
Are you going to find something that actually says digital video disc? Because I will accept that at one point in time it meant that.
It means that. Still means that to me.
In a minute. Okay. I'll come get her then.
When are you getting this dog?
Does yours say boom booms? That's what your name says, boom booms?
Boom booms.
So shits?
Come on.
However
boom,
you
boom?
want to interpret it.
Did you go boom boom chuck?
I'm going to do boom.
Come on. Don't be a butt. Get in here.
Come on, you stupid puppy. You stupid infant dog.
Yeah. Aren't you a
Doesn't
smart
understand
dog
words yet. Get in there on the live cast.
Tiny dog is tiny.
That is not a dog. How many things has that dog destroyed so far?
Very little. She pees a lot. She poops a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like more than me. It's a lot.
Like,
So she got into the
do you mean
firewall
like?
wars.
Wait, hold on. I have questions. I have follow-up questions, sir. When you say
course.
more than me, do you mean times or quantity? Because if it's quantity, I'm concerned. For both of
Both.
you.
No, it is times.
Okay.
But yeah, here we go. Autumn. No, she just wants to sleep. Look at her. She's like, no.
Oh,
Aw.
Hey.
Like, cute. Nappy time.
who's your dog?
Who's your little dog?
Yeah.
Who's your little dog?
She is very much, she's in like sleep mode, which is probably
Aw.
good.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll just sit here on my lap the whole time.
Has she barked yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when she wants Kona to give up whatever Kona is chewing on, she will bark at her and go nuts. So
Yeah. How does Kona take to that?
Kona's a lot better about it. At first, she just growled and was like, "Get the hell away from me!" But now they tug and yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, Kona's very docile. She's very she's just like, all right, whatever, man. Let's keep the peace. And yeah. So so she'll let the dog have it, and then Autumn will drop it, and then she'll kind of sneak in and be like, yoink. But she's not like running over and like, give me that. Rah. She's just like, nope, I'm gonna slink in and then slowly take away.
Right.
So I have a dilemma. Sort of. I got the new 4K Lord of the Rings set. I've texted this to Chuck before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's our packaging, right? Nice little end. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and shut off the background. Be easier, because I hate when it does this shit. Choose background. None. There we go. Yes. It's a room with a couch in it. My God. And CDs that I don't own. But yeah.
Stolen
Not
CDs.
mine. No, my CDs I sold for $100 at a garage sale, like 1,500 of them.
Man.
Good investment. Yeah. So nice slipcover deal, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little thing. Got some discs.
You should probably hold the digital codes up to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't show them codes.
However many discs there are in here.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Is this all of Lord of the Rings? I mean, is this all Hobbit shit, or is it just Lord of the Rings?
This one's just Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I did get the Hobbit one as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Because I didn't know if they had like one set that was all things Middle Earth. I
I
guess Middle Earth is the more technical shit than Hobbit shit.
Yeah, but anyway, like yeah, and that's broken anyway. Great, awesome. But yes, it is like I think it's both the theatrical and the extended. Now that I'm looking at them, yeah, because there's like 8 fucking discs in here. Yeah, there's they give me a bunch of theatrical, which I don't care about. But you know, you're looking at this. It's like, oh, cool, it's a case. Like I'm kind of like all about saving space in a cabinet. Man, look at this fucking thing, dude. This one's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like really nice.
Yeah, that's that one that's like all magnetized and folds out and shit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're all like in there, good.
Mhm.
So I'm tempted to just put it all in. And apparently Jen needs her AirPods. Okay. All right. I need to give her AirPods. This is great. This is why I'm not on the show very often anymore, you know, because I'm all over the damn place. Fireworks. All right. I shall
so
return.
wait,
See, and I love that nobody's watching anyway.
We
so,
never
you
actually
know.
got what the actual dilemma was. Just that you like the old packaging.
Do I transport them to the other one,
Oh.
or do I leave them in the new one that takes up way less space?
We will talk amongst ourselves.
I'll give you a topic.
Well, no, he gave us a topic.
Oh.
So what do you think, Maggie, we should do?
I'm not Mackie.
No, Conan, you're staying here. Staying here.
I don't know. I'm
There you go.
actually.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to think. I think the right stuff was the last physical disc I bought. Just because I bought First Man and I was like, oh shit, I never actually bought the right stuff on a HD medium. Like I only had a DVD copy, and I was like,
Right.
So did you guys come to a consensus?
We're debating.
Yeah. I was saying I just don't even buy physical media anymore. So
Yeah, and it sucks that it's still split between two discs. The Blu-rays were, the DVDs were.
oh
These
really?
are,
Like still? Like
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know the Blu-rays did that.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's just for lack of compression or something, but still.
And yes, Matthew, you still have to do the disc swap. Great. Now Kona's going to whimper at the door the whole time. Sweet. This is my life now, just catering to dogs no matter what I do. Oh man. So, all right, let me let her out. Keep this one in. Because Jen's going to Publix.
That's where shopping is a pleasure.
I've heard that. I guess my definition of pleasure is somewhat different than Publix's.
I don't know. I mean, there's the meat department.
I was offered a handy in the back when I worked there a long time ago, but
Who's that? Yeah.
that's about as much pleasure as I could get out of Publix. I would
So
think.
handy in the back, is it?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you meant like in the back room. Okay. I got
Yes.
you. Yeah. All right.
Would you like me to have said the stock room? Yeah, and you know what? I told him no. This is a place of work.
Oh, I'm glad you told him that.
Yeah. I was like, I'm here to do a job. I am 16 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jeopardize my future. Besides, you're like 60. No. Yeah. All right. Let me let the dog out.
This story went places. Tiny dog.
Hold me closer, tiny doggy.
Hey man, take a look at that dog. That dog is tiny.
This is a tiny dog.
I don't mean nothing by it.
She's up to like 5 pounds now.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
What are you feeding that dog?
4.5 when we got her 2 weeks ago.
Hey there, tiny doggy.
All right.
Was Tiny Elvis a recurring thing, or was
No,
it just
one time.
sketch?
Nope.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
when Nicolas Cage hosted,
That's why everyone remembers that one.
and it was like an hour into the show. Like it
Yep.
was not even a showcase sketch. It was just I don't know. Throw that shit on at 12:45.
Those are the best sketches. They always are.
I know.
That's where you get the family dinner shit. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Check out this paramecium. It's freaking huge.
All right, so including Wonder Woman, I have 4 things.
I have Wonder Woman and I mean, you guys talked about Mando last week, so I don't know if I need to really say much.
We really just talked about the cottage industry of people coming to your door and throwing spoilers in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
Okay.
shall
I guess I
we?
should hit record, huh?
Yeah, I should record too.
Recording. There's the little waveform.
Oh, look at the wave.
That's the waveform.
Well, look at the title and wait for.
Yeah. Look at that freaking waveform. Freaking
man.
huge.
That thing's huge.
That was Rob Schneider, right? Unfortunately. Or was
well,
it Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage was doing it. Rob Schneider was the singing voice.
Okay.
But yeah, it was Nicolas Cage doing his Elvis thing because he always has to Elvis no matter what he does.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey
Well-
man, what if I do an Elvis sketch but I'm tiny?"
So, Mackie, before we start, I have a small bit of video game content that's not germane to the
Okay.
our BMFcast thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played one of the NBA 2K games, but the new one might be up your alley.
I tried back in like 2K12.
Okay.
because they had the 89 Warriors as was like a pre-order bonus. I was like, okay, sign me up.
Yeah, the story mode in this year's is real good. Like
Yeah.
let's just put it this way. Like the story starts and Tribe Called Quest's Bugging Out comes on, and
I like it.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, yeah, and then like 2 seconds later, it's like you're talking to your high school coach who's Jimon Hansu. And then Omar from The Wire shows up. Omar from The Wire shows up and is like your mentor. And I was like, okay, I'm with this. And also, it's real weird because like the face capture they did on Omar is like, I know the dude has a name. It's like, what is it, Michael K. Brown? Is that the name's dude? Because I know it's like I always confuse his name and the other dude from The Predator. Like I always mishmash their names.
Yeah, Sterling Brown.
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown. So I don't remember what his initial is, but anyway, but like the face capture on him is like immaculate. And everyone else still kind of has that weird 2K Deadeye thing going on. It's really weird because like his eyes and everything are like the most realistic video game capture thing I've ever seen. And then it's
you
like
probably let them put the dots on his eyes.
Maybe, yeah.
Everyone else was like, "You're not putting dots on my eyes."
Yeah, it's nuts because like his is like ridiculously accurate, but it's a cool story mode. I'm digging it, and yeah.
Is it on Game Pass or is it still?
No.
Is it full price or is it cheaper?
It's more than full price if you want the Xbox version.
Oh, that's right. It's 70. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wait for a sale, obviously, or something.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like the vibe of the career mode is pretty good. Like they got the wasn't he the hero? Like, so remember that each person was an archetype in Cabin in the Woods. Like, like everyone fit a thing. Like it was the jock and the whatever. And I think one dude was the hero. The kid that like they were trying to set the main girl up with, like the one who was like new to the group, and
was it the
one that
black
like
dude?
No, was he? No, he's sort of Hispanic looking, kind of. I don't know what his ethnicity is, but I'm just saying like he kind of looks sort of Hispanic. I don't know, but I'm just saying like he was like the younger kid that like Thor invited to the thing and is like, yeah, and they were trying to set up with the redhead main girl.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, like he's in it too, but like the way his motion capture is, and like he's got a beard. I swear to God, I thought it was Oscar Isaac at first. Like with the kind of dead eyes, I was like, "Holy shit, Oscar Isaac's in this too!" And it's like, then I looked it up, and I was like, "No, that's that dude from Cabin in the Woods." Okay, but
Oscar Isaac does not have dead eyes.
Just something about the way his eyes are made him look like Oscar Isaac, especially with the beard. So, anyway, I'm just saying it's pretty good, and I think you might dig it.
I will give it a shot when I can find it cheap. Because I guess I'm too like NBA Jam mode whenever I play those games, because I'm just like, all right, how do I get to a super alley-oop dunk?
Yeah.
Or how do I bomb all the threes? And neither one works.
Well, I think what works for me about the career mode so much is you're just focused on controlling the one dude, and it's like the camera kind of caters to that. So it's like, I only have to
pick what team he gets drafted by.
You have some influence, and I was like, yeah, put me on the Magic, and then it did. So I think it was like pretty easy. It's weird though, because like the conceit of the story is like, of course you have a rival dude, and he gets drafted to the same team, but I think we play the same position, so we're basically vying for the spot or something. And it's like, okay, so the number 1 and number 2 draft picks went to the same team. Like
that's real dumb.
Yeah, like I know the Magic haven't been great,
like,
but I don't think they're that bad.
There's ways around that. Like they drafted him last year and he was hurt all year, and now he's back.
Yeah,
But
like when I did college mode, and of course it's like, well, first actually you could just skip college. You can like decide to play in like the G League or something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the G League.
Yeah, and so like you can do that, or you can do college. Then I did college, and then it was like, well, do you want to come back for another year? And I was like, I kind of do, because like my game's not there yet. I'm still kind of learning this. And then, of course, your rival decides to stay another year, too. So it's just like you're intrinsically linked with this guy. It's like you've got to battle it out with him or something. So,
can you hire someone to club him in the knee?
Well, that's the other thing, is like you're friends, too. Like you're like grew up in the same neighborhood and stuff. So like it's weird. Yeah.
Never be friends with your enemies.
Well, they actually call you frenemies at one point in time. Somebody does, because of course they do.
That's a stupid word. Never be friends with your enemies.
It was the blogger sports writer, so that.
Who was it?
There's a blogger sports writer lady character in it, so I'm pretty sure it was her.
A lady, sure. Writing about sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Actually, the majority are now. But I just wanted to play an archetype for a second.
Sure. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever. Let's talk about
if I see it on sale, I bought Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh.
Somebody sold me on it by saying you have a hostess club girl in your party, and a guy insults her before one of the battles, and she just like destroys him with a purse. And they showed the animation of her like hitting him with a purse, and it's got like the anime explosions and the guy like flying back like Street Fighter style. And I was like, okay, maybe I have to play this game. So I was gonna wait for PS5 because I have all the other ones on PS4, but then I was like, fuck it.
I think it was on sale there too, or I think they.
No, it's not out yet. It's not out till like March on PS5.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I just like
dumb.
almost every game that was on sale on the Xbox was also on sale in the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
Almost match for match sales going on.
Yep. Happy New Year. Mm-hmm. All right. I guess we should start recording or start the actual podcast.
Yep.
Because I'm on the clock with this sleeping dog.
I'm recording.
I am recording as well. He just took his headphones. He's leaving. He's done.
I just ripped the cable out of my headphones. So.
Oh.
I mean, it's a removable cable, so that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Let's do this. Oh, we're on 32, 30 as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Episode 30.
I can't clap tonight or not hit things. Whatever. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast Variety Hour.
Hey,
Yeah.
BMFcast Variety Hour.
All right.
We're back
Yeah.
with episode 30 of this temporary situation that we're in.
One more for 2020.
Yeah, we got a month of weeks here.
What?
30 weeks worth.
Oh.
It's a month of weeks.
Oh.
It's a month of Wednesdays.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's how I was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That makes
Anyway,
sense, yeah.
I'm Mackie.
Oh, right, yes. We do that thing. I'm Harlow.
I'm Chuck.
In some order, we're people. I don't know.
Hi,
Sure.
we're here.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We've never done this before. We don't have any clue what we're doing.
No.
We all have
And-
like space madness or whatever the on-Earth equivalent
Space
is.
dementia.
Space
Yeah.
dementia.
Yeah.
Here we just call it dementia.
Sorry. See, you guys want to go with the
Really,
Armageddon
everything
thing.
in space is just space whatever. Like if you wear your socks in space, guess what they are? Those are space socks.
Yeah.
Spocks.
No,
That's where he got his
that's
name.
something else, yeah. No, so you guys always want to reference Armageddon, and I go to Ren and Stimpy because they're the one that had space madness. But anyway, whatever. Chuck
space
probably
madness.
already established he'd probably never watched a second of Ren and Stimpy either. So because we were having
That
we were having a conversation today of like he has absolutely no knowledge of anything to do with SpongeBob SquarePants,
Zero knowledge.
and I'm like
I don't either.
I'm like that show has been on almost 20 years.
Lots of shows have been on 20 years. I've never seen a single frame of.
Jen's favorite show was Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
And that was her family's nickname for her was Ren.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've never seen an episode.
Huh.
I think she tried to show me one time, and I was like, I'm not high enough for this.
Especially in the first season. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because she had the DVDs somewhere. God knows where they are now.
I think it's just the first season where the John K guy was part of it, and then they were like, "Okay, you've got to go. You can't have a kids show."
That was probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Anyway.
So,
Speaking of none of that,
yeah.
yeah, total transition
Moving right
there.
along.
I mean, roughly 20 years ago, it would have been the year 2000, not actually relevant to what we're talking about, which is Wonder Woman, 1984.
Yeah. The
amazing.
I know.
It's
I think about like large numbers like 20 years ago, and now it's like the same millennium
Yeah.
or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they call that aging.
I guess. I
Yeah.
just like now like 20 years ago is still in the 2000s. It's just weird to think. That's all. Like we're 20
It's
years
true.
into this new fucking millennium is all.
Did you know that we are further away from the 80s than
Then what, Chuck?
Chuck,
than Marty in 85 was from the 50s?
Chuck,
What?
stop treading on my territory. Get out of here. This is not your lane. Stay out of it.
Sorry.
You know, like Kurt Cobain would be 132 today.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. May the 5th be with you.
He died young.
Anyway, Wonder Woman 84. It's on HBO Max, and no one had to go anywhere to watch it, so we all watched it.
Apparently, $16 million worth of people watched it in a theater.
Yeah, those crazy people.
I hope you all got the vaccine
I mean,
and your booster.
they didn't. I guarantee
Nope.
you they didn't, because
Yeah.
the timing doesn't work.
Exactly. You still don't have your second one, so.
Yeah, and I was like almost first in line.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a movie that people could have gone to go pay for if you wanted to, but maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah. If you got HBO Max, I mean, watch it there.
Yeah.
At home.
And it's
Or you
also
can
their
pause it.
it's also their first 4K foray. You know, like the first
Oh,
thing they
really?
offer. Yeah,
I didn't even realize
yeah.
that.
It's full 4K Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, everything.
Yeah,
else
I
has been-
saw that on the menu. I just never realized that they hadn't had anything else in 4K on
Nope.
that.
It was
service yet.
always 1080p and 5.1 max. This is the first
Yeah.
time they went up on the video
Yeah.
or sound quality. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So yeah, it's a sequel to Wonder Woman.
It is. It's same filmmakers, same everything. Not the same result.
A little different when it's all said and done. Here's the interesting thing. I think the three of us all have varying opinions on if we liked it or not, but I think we all pretty much have the same kind of like concerns about it.
Yes, it has issues, and I guess before we even get into that, I kind of feel like, as far as Twitter goes, it's become like Ghostbusters 2016, where anyone who's defending it is like, "Well, you just won't give a woman credit for making a good superhero movie," and it's like, "Nah, it's not that, man." Like,
so this has become a gender battle of opinion, basically.
somewhat. It's
Okay.
not as bad as Ghostbusters 2016 was, but
Well, that
there's
one was
a lot
just
of
annoying
like,
because I was like, look,
Well-
I'm not saying I haven't liked a movie with women in it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like,
No,
I just don't
know.
think
I'm
this is
just,
a good movie.
Like, any concern that we have is completely unrelated to all of that.
Sure.
As
Yeah, I
well
don't
as
care,
like
yeah.
the other thing is like, oh, you just wanted something grim and gritty, and now you're pissed that it wasn't. And it's like, nah, wasn't that either. I actually watched that mall scene, and I was like, God, I hope the entire movie is like this scene in the mall. Holy fuck! Please give me that. And it was not.
Yeah.
so, at all.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, do we want to? Are we going to have a spoiler section? Because I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard to talk about our complaints with it without kind of talking about what happens in the plot. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it's such an adventurous movie. Like, I mean, in terms of like it does a lot, and there's a lot of characters and a lot of things happening. So it's kind of hard to talk about how it turns.
Yeah, this movie
Without-
is 2 minutes longer than Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize it was that long. Okay.
Yep. It is 2 minutes longer than Avengers: Infinity War.
It's not as much of an adventure as that movie. That movie goes a lot more
No.
places in a shorter.
There's a lot happening in Infinity War,
Right.
and when you boil down what happens in Wonder Woman 84, it's like,
Why was this 2.5 hours long?
What was happening in this?
Okay, well, I mean, first off, I have no idea what the runtime is. It didn't feel long to me, if that means anything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
look or care, so I don't know. I've never been that 90-minute rule movie guy. Like, I mean, I like a brisk 90-minute movie if you can do it well. Like, Gravity, I think, is one of the best paced movies of all time. You know, because it's just like, get in, fucking go, and it's over. And it's just like,
Well, and like Infinity War, I got no complaints. Like I told you when I saw it in the theater again, I was like, holy shit, we're at the end battle. Like I could not believe that it moved that fast the second time watching. You know, Lord of the Rings, literally no complaints about those movies at all. Like I just, you know, and those do have times where it's like nothing's happening right now, but that's fine. And this one, I just feel like, and I'm not spoiling anything, but like the way everything resolves at the end involves kind of a montage, somewhat. It involves a speech, and it involves like showing a lot of things that are happening at the same time. And I swear that thing feels like it takes 15 fucking minutes to finish. And it's like the same things over and over and over and over and over. And I think that's the issue that I have with the movie is, you know, what you realize, if a movie hasn't sold you on its reality, then it's much easier to suddenly find the nitpicks and go, well, that's dumb, and that's dumb, and that's dumb. But if the movie has properly sold you on what it's doing, you're like, who cares? You know, and I feel like that everyone that loves Wonder Woman 84, which there is a small vocal minority that does, which seems to be a different small vocal minority for every DC universe movie that comes out. These people are like, no, it's a masterpiece. What's wrong with you? And everyone else is like, calm down, buddy. But I feel like this one, if they had maintained the tone of the opening mall scene, which I think I texted Harlow, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like a Donner Superman scene right here. Please tell me this is the rest of the movie. And you're like, I'm going to disappoint you now. And then an hour later, I wrote him, I said, nothing else has happened since this scene. But they don't keep that tone, that like it basically 80s comic book tone. You know, early, like I would probably say more like pre-Dark Knight comic book tone.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, I think
Like
it's
goofy
I think it's
Bronze Age type stuff.
yeah. I mean, I would. To me, it's more. It's got the wholesomeness of a Bronze Age classic comic, but like with the refinedness of a Silver Age comic. Like,
Yeah.
you know, original Superman. What was that? 79. The first one, first Donner Superman, somewhere around there, right? 78, 79?
78.
Yeah.
Yeah, 78.
Yeah. So I mean, like that movie was very different in like a lot of ways because I mean, you know, first it was. I mean, we look at Donner Superman and we think it's kind of goofy now, but like that
It's very earnest.
It's
though.
well, it's extremely earnest, but like to people back then, that was the fucking Dark Knight. Because I mean, we came from like Batman '66 and TV Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk on TV, you know. So like to see that movie was like, holy shit! Like superheroes treated with reverence and everything. We look back on it now and it's like, well, that's just everyone's just hamming it the fuck up, you know, and stuff like that. But like yeah, there's that like just absolute earnestness in this of like.
Yeah, like her just like looking at the little girl and winking at
Right.
the end, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like, okay, this is the shit you want. Like, if you want a wholesome superhero movie, like this is how you do that, and this is how you do it right, because the action is still great in those scenes. You know, the stuff that's happening is a ton of fun.
I'm so
and it's
happy
kind
I
of
didn't-
inventive.
Yeah, that
You know,
opening
it's
scene.
inventive in the way that a comic book would be, where it's like, all right, she saves a little girl by shoving her into the giant teddy bear, you know, and like that sort of imaginativeness that, you know, and it shows up slightly later on, like when she's trying to save all like those guys, like one guy gets chucked and she like she lassos a chair underneath him so he has something to land on, you know, little things like that show up later, but it's not the same at all. I mean, the tone is completely different by then.
Well, I mean, I think yes and no. I feel like the Donner tone comes and goes throughout the movie. And like I said, I guess if you want, there's no way to like talk much more about it unless you have some open thoughts, Chuck, because you haven't really said much. But I feel like we have to get into something that somebody would consider a spoiler because I got to talk about some things that happen in the plot.
I'll give my generic version of it. The way the plot resolves would play so much better if the tone had stayed with the goofy, earnest mall scene throughout.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. And that's why the ending for so many people is like, the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, but if the movie has sold you properly on that, then that ending works. And I feel like that's the problem, is they lose their way in the middle and they don't get there.
See, okay, so my general thoughts on it are, I get that there are only so many themes in a lot of comic books that you can explore because it's just once you start dealing with powers and everything, you then become limited by another subset of rules that you have to deal with. But I think, and it kind of goes to what you were saying, Mackie, about either you buy in and everything just rolls off you, or you're a little dubious and then everything just starts to add up. And so, like, I get it. Like, I've seen all the Marvel movies, all these DC movies, and so you become very familiar with tropes and everything. But watching this was very specifically, oh, it's Superman 3. Oh, it's Superman 2. Oh, it's Batman Returns. Like, it's very specific instances of other comic book movies that you feel like the movie is doing. It's not just like doing a similar theme. It's like, oh, this is very much the Catwoman arc from Batman Returns. This opening sequence is the entirety of Superman 3's opening sequence.
So it becomes the Fargo of movies, the Fargo
kind of,
TV
yes,
show of movies.
It's kind of like this weird kind of tribute to it, instead of doing its own thing. The other thing that I think, in a general way, that kind of set me off on it is that, so nobody in this is just bad. everyone is just kind of trying to do something good for the wrong reasons, and everything spirals out of that. So when the movie kind of forces in its spectacle, it doesn't fit because the story at its core is much smaller than what the characters are, because the characters are all kind of like, even though they're doing it for the wrong reasons, the motivations of each character is like, well, I just want this to happen. It's not super evil. It's not I'm taking over the planet. It's not everyone must die.
No.
It's this, then this, and then it spirals out of control from there. And I know we're just now in the age of Disney Plus doing every single little Marvel character in a 10-episode series, but the way this movie plays out seems better suited for a lower budget, longer television series. It just does, and I know we all watched it at home and streaming and everything, but it just doesn't have that, oh my God, this. Like the spectacle of it just isn't there. And I'm not saying every story has to be huge, but the story doesn't lend itself to a rollicking good time in the theater kind of experience, if that makes sense. It's just weird. It seems like it's a smaller story. And obviously it is a smaller story because it's a prequel. It's a sequel, but a prequel to the rest of the Wonder Woman stuff we already know. So right away, like all of the danger stuff is taken out. Like, oh no, maybe her powers are gone. No, they're not. They'll be back. I've seen Justice League. I've seen Batman v Superman. She's fine. You know, oh, Chris Pine is back. I wonder how they're going to deal with that. Obviously, you know how they're going to deal with that. I mean, they're just shoehorned into this, like, well, here's this kind of mid-step story. It has no consequences. Don't worry, because you know how all this plays out later. So
yeah, and I may as well talk about the big problem you and I had, Chuck, is the soundtrack. You have set a movie in 1984, and all you have is When Frankie Goes to Hollywood song incidentally playing at a party.
At a party, which is appropriate, and I feel like that was a good place for one of those songs, but my God, drop something. Give me at least one thing where I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that moment, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a weird choice. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. It's a weird ass choice to just not, you know, because thematically the 80s works really well for what the plot becomes.
Sure.
You know, and for Pedro Pascal's character's motivation, who is like, he's almost in Nick Cage mode in this movie. Like
he's very animated and very good in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially near the end, as he's like deteriorating basically, and he's getting more desperate. It's like, holy shit. This guy is just like, I want you to know I am the guy that was in The Mandalorian who had to be all monotone and you couldn't see his face. And I'm making up for it now.
He has one or two lines of dialogue early on that are so Mandalorian that I was just like, oh, he's not even on camera. It's like an off-camera line that he's saying to someone else, and you just hear it and you go, oh, the Mandalorian's here. This is weird.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
I got to ask, is like, what would you say something from the opening sequence is Superman 3-esque? I haven't seen Superman 3 in a long ass time. Do you mean the prequel bit with young Diana, or you mean the mall sequence?
I forget all that. I've forgotten all that. That's such a superfluous use of a flashback. It's so insanely silly.
I love that sequence though. Did you
it's
not?
It's a great sequence.
Okay. I mean, that's one of those things. Like, I mean, that I guess that, you know, they put that out on YouTube and stuff a week before. Like, hey, watch the first few minutes or something, and I was like, no, and I'm so glad I didn't. Like, shit like that pisses me off. I just like,
no. I'm talking about the whole like Wonder Woman slinking around town, solving random crimes and stopping potentially accidents that may happen to a few people. That's the entire beginning of Superman 3 is just this.
Oh, you mean like when she kicks the car and stuff, right? That kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're just doing that. So it's just weird, and it's a weird choice because no one likes Superman 3.
Well, I mean,
I'm kind of middle of the road. Like, I think Superman 3 is better than a lot of people say it is.
Oh, it's a highly underrated movie.
It's just a weird thing to do that. Like, people were just so pissed off of that. Like, I'm not here for the comedy, you know. So it was just a weird thing to do. But I don't know. But
I mean, there's the general crime solving montage in the first Superman movie, like when he first comes out, if you will. You know, like,
sure,
you know, decides to put on the uniform. It's like he's saving kittens and trees and stuff, you know. But
I mean, like in the first movie, which I made the mistake of rewatching that day, and the two movies absolutely do not compare at all. The first one is infinitely superior to this one. But I mean, there's a scene in an alley in the first one where she fends off attackers, you know, the same way that in the first Superman movie, you know,
Yeah.
that's obviously a tribute to. I mean, these things are obviously doing things that they know the history of stuff, that it's not by accident. It can't be, but it's just strange choices to me.
Well, wasn't Jeff Johns one of the executive producers on it? Because he's
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like
co-wrote it actually.
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say like I think like he's one of the people involved in the TV iterations of stuff too. Like be it Titans or Super. I mean, I will say all of the Arrowverse stuff loves bringing in people that were in the old movies, TV shows,
Right.
whatever. Like, I mean, and Supergirl, like Dean Cain was her dad, and I think Helen Slater was her mom. So it's like, you know, it's just like things like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're constantly doing things like that. Like, you know, yeah. So I'm just saying, like, maybe there is some arm of the DC universe that are like, hey, yeah, like, you know, let's write this where it's kind of an homage to Batman Returns or whatever, you know.
And I mean, you know, it's fair because the DC universe has a movie history to where, you know, Marvel kind of didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should just say I generally really like this movie, actually. Like, I mean, not as a whole. Like, I still have big problems with it, but like I can't talk about what my problems are without discussing the plot more, and that's why I was like, we have to like spoiler territories or whatever for people that want to remain.
Insert a thing that we're just say, okay, jump to the blank blank minute
Right.
mark.
I just look at the show description. I will put timestamps in.
Okay.
We're going to start talking spoilers now. I'll tell you when it's safe to come back.
Okay. Yeah, I just anything that more I have to say, I have to like point to things in the plot because we were talking about the Donner-esque beginnings and stuff. Like I know there's no scenes like that in any Richard Donner Superman, but like from the intro sequence, like that flashback-ish sequence, I didn't have a problem with because, especially by the end, like I mean, at first I was like, well, what did that have to do with anything? Because it kind of drops you in, and you're like, I don't understand what the point of that sequence was, other than it was cool, you know, and like a few more seconds of, you know, seeing Mom and Aunt on Hippolyta, you know, or Themyscira. Sorry, that's the lady, not the place. But yeah, it's like I was cool with that because like I wanted more of that in the first movie, so getting a little bit more in this one I'm totally okay with. And I feel like by the end, it's like, oh, yeah, that's totally thematically correct to what's going on here. Like the no shortcuts thing, you know, that's what the whole point of the movie is about.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense clearly right in the beginning. But like I feel like the Donner nature like goes until probably like Cheetah's transformation starts happening. Like, I mean, I feel like it lasts for a while. Like, I mean, your complaint of like there's no action sequences was like kind of what I was really digging about it, is that I don't know why. Maybe I like superhero movies where they're not doing superhero shit. Because like I said, I like Batman Begins the Post, and it's like, you know, I like the like downtimes where it's like, you know, what do these people do on a normal day to not get discovered and shit like that? And you know, of course, when Chris Pine shows back up, and as you said, his gee golly gosh nature isn't the future awesome thing. I was buying and digging all of that.
It carries that section.
Yeah.
Without him, that section would just be interminable. Like it would just, I probably would have shut it off. Jen fell asleep. I will note that. So I had to watch the second act of this movie twice because she woke up like shortly after the whole desert chase scene. And I was like, well, when the hell did you fall asleep? She's like, I think they were stealing a jet. And I'm like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah. I don't know. This movie just worked for me. Like and it's funny because like recognizing that it was like homaging or aping or whatever you want to call it, things that I don't like, and it somehow still worked for me. Like I've said plenty of times, I don't like Batman Returns. I don't know why. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to like Batman Returns. I've tried.
Boo.
Yeah.
It's good.
Boo.
Well, like I said, this for whatever reason worked for me this time. Like it's weird. I can't even explain like why this movie worked for me so much. But yeah, I mean, agreed. The ending is a little stupid. I mean, because yeah, I'm gonna big spoiler. It's the fucking Peter Pan ending. I mean, that's what happens. It's the fucking I believe in fairies. That's what solves everything.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, oh no, yeah, Tinkerbell's dead. Yeah,
And,
Clap if you believe in fairies.
yeah,
and the thing too is the reason it doesn't work for me is saying that literally the entire world is going to renounce their wish. No.
Not a
No.
chance. Especially not in the 80s.
No. And the thing is, like, I figured that he was gonna, when he renounced his wish, that it would just reset everything. You
Right.
know,
Because he
basically.
was the one who set it all into motion. If he took it away, if he renounced what he did, that makes everyone else's wishes moot because,
And it doesn't really.
yeah, no.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, so, and I mean, I get that thematically, in that that's what, in saying that because Diana is the best of us, she can convince everyone to be the best that of themselves as well. Like, thematically, yeah, I get that, but once again, because your tone didn't sell that throughout, it doesn't work.
I
And
mean,
you just go, nah, there's gonna be plenty of shitbirds who wouldn't give back, like Trump. Whatever Trump's wish was in 1984, sure as fuck is not taking it back.
I'm sure it was USFL related.
Yeah.
so I mean, it. Don't get me wrong. This isn't any better of a way to write this, but like just the littlest thing that at least I would have been like, okay, I'm going to buy your comic book science. She should have lassoed the camera. Lassoed the camera that was broadcasting shit, his message, and then maybe the truth that's in the lasso of truth would make everyone see.
That is what happened.
Is it?
Like, I
She
guess
lassos the camera?
that is my understanding, is when she lassoed the thing, it
Okay.
showed everyone what his childhood was like.
Maybe I missed that
which
part.
I
I must have blinked when she lassoed the camera. So,
Yeah, and that's how she was able to talk to everyone instead of him.
well, I know she lassoed him and like got the backstory of him. I didn't know like there was like.
Yeah, she lassoed you see like the bottom of the tripod has the
Yeah.
lasso glowing around.
Then
it.
I'm actually okay
Yeah,
with it.
It's,
like,
it's basically what she did to Steve when
Yeah.
she showed him what happened to Linda Carter.
honestly, I'm okay with it then. I mean, honestly, like that. I mean, that fixes it enough for me to
Yeah.
like accept the ending. Because I mean,
Okay.
we're talking about a movie that like there's an invisible jet. So I mean,
Yeah.
and you've got like if you're not on board on that by that point, then like
Yeah, and a World War One pilot knows how to fly.
yeah. I mean, I was having the look. I had all the
See,
same. I had all the
This
same.
is what I'm
thoughts.
talking about. Like, if we loved everything that was going on, we wouldn't care that
Yeah.
Steve knows how to fly a fucking
But for-
1980s jet.
but for me,
and all
it-
he's flown is like a prop job in 1918.
And as I was watching
care,
it,
though.
as I was watching it, I was like, I mean, I had that moment. It was like, how the fuck is a World War One prop plane pilot like gonna jump in a jet and know how the fuck this works? And then I just went, I don't fucking care. Like, I mean, I just
Well,
had
he
that.
explains it. It's just wind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which becomes like the mantra of the whole movie.
and honestly, like, I think that's weird. That like. The history of whether or not Wonder Woman can fly goes back and forth all the time, and
You want to know the dumbest thing is I was totally cool with that whole.
I
whole
know.
thing.
Well, like I said, I just like it
And
depends
that
on
should be the thing the most. That I'm like, no, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
I
know,
was
it-
like, no, this is kind of cool.
and that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
that's
that,
go ahead.
when she learns the learning to fly sequence is extremely Donner-esque too. I was like, where's Margot Kidder going? Like, do you want to fly with me or whatever that weird fucking voiceover thing that happens in the middle of Superman the movie? Yeah.
Well, and what's strange to me too is like, I felt that might have been the best looking sequence of her doing stuff, because a lot of the other CG stuff didn't look good at all. And I mean, that's kind of been a DC Universe thing. I don't know like what effects house they use, but all their
it's
stuff has
weird.
felt that little bit off.
Everything, even
Yeah.
still, like I don't know why this is the CG effect I will always go back to, but like something about everything that's DC related reminds me of Blade 2. That one shot, the fucking luchador shot in Blade 2. Like seriously, like there's like that is like the most unnatural moving thing, that I remember, and the funny thing is like, that was what 98 or so, like it was a long ass time ago, and it hasn't gotten any better, I don't know. I'm guessing.
I mean, it just so many scenes feel like, oh yeah, that's definitely someone in front of a green screen.
It's weird because I had the thought while watching this. I actually thought it felt like we got to a point where CG was really good, and then suddenly it started getting bad again. And I'm not sure why, especially this movie, which should have had extra
they
time
had
to
a
cook.
year to polish it.
Just re-render some stuff. I don't know.
push in
Yeah,
hits.
it's not that easy, but
Tighten up the graphics on level 3.
it depends on how you originally filmed it in the green screen, how it's going to turn out. And
I know. I just
matching the lighting.
I know.
It involves so many. Oh my god! But yeah, it's just, and it's disappointing also that I think Chuck and I both said this. We're just like, yeah, and then it ends in a poorly lit CG punch fight, and Yeah, it kind of does.
I mean, this one is like the briefest, leastest
it's-
one of any of them. I mean, like,
No,
it's,
I give this movie
Yeah.
credit for moving that scene to the next to the last scene
Yeah.
instead of the last
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, because it doesn't. It's not the wet fart that whole Ares fight in the first one is.
Yeah.
Like to me, because like I said, that movie is 90% awesome. Like I love
The Ares fight lets that movie down. It's
Yeah.
like the reveal of who Ares is still one of my most favorite things. But like everything that follows it, I'm just like, really?
I mean, honestly, I'd take it a step further. Like, I'd have to cut and redo everything in the last 20 minutes of that movie. Like, when you're leading up to the Ares fight, obviously. But like, I'm sorry, like, you don't get to put out a movie like 2 years later with an ethnic group of fighters in a period piece war and then have one of your characters go die on a plane. Like, it's like, and not go like, wait, that's fucking Captain America. Like, I'm just saying,
Right.
like, the wrong Steve's on the plane, but otherwise it's the same fucking ending, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel that way. The same way about that as I feel about AI. Like, there's a logical point that ends that movie on a much darker note, but you still kind of need the what comes after
Right.
in both of those movies, and it's like I don't know how you fix that as far like, and maybe the Ares thing. I don't know. That still bugs me about that movie because I'm like, man, you were 9/10 of the way there, and then you just slipped and fell on your ass.
Yeah.
right
Mr.
at the
DC
end.
came in and was like, hey, no, we need a poorly lit CG fight to wrap this up. And you're like, okay, but that really doesn't fit anything else we've been doing here.
I mean,
Well,
look,
and
I
the whole Barbara thing in the sequel doesn't make any sense to me.
no.
Like, honestly, like
It should
her
have been
continued motivation throughout doesn't make sense at a certain point because it's like, no, the world's a fucking war zone. Literally, like the entire world is a war zone. Nobody gives a shit if you're cool or not. You know? So
Well, I think
why
that
are
was
you
just.
doing this?
I mean, I'm writing that off to like dumb comic book villain. You know,
Yeah.
Power corrupts.
Yeah,
That's-
power corrupts
That's,
thing,
that's what happened.
Yeah, and it's
she was
funny
able to
of us-
kick the shit out of that dude, and she was like, I'm never giving this up ever.
Yeah, and like plenty of us talked about in the Discord, we're just like, yeah, and it's the trope of, okay, the only person who was nice to me when I was a dork is now my mortal enemy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that is a weird running
'cause
theme
that-
in a
what-
lot of these things.
Well, I mean, I just add another one. Like Spider-Man 2's that too. Like he and Dr. Ock are like best friends, and then he's like, "Hey, I've got this thing went wrong. Fuck you, Parker." It's like, wait, what? Like not fuck everybody else? Like I don't know.
I was on your side, buddy.
Yeah.
It's 80s Hulk Hogan syndrome where all his friends are just like, nah, fuck you, pal. It's like, wait, no, I'm the good guy.
No, I mean, what? I
I'm
mean,
fucking tugboat over here.
again, I mean, I feel like I'm just trying to script doctor this thing to be a properly good movie, but like set it up just where it's jealousy. Like, I mean, and you know, you can have
it kind of is, but
well, it's jealousy, but then like you know,
it
she's-
goes past that point
Yeah,
at the wrong time.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
I mean,
I
have
don't-
all that stuff happen before shit escalates too far.
Right.
When it just seems like, you know what, if I stick with this guy, life's great.
I just,
You know,
I think it could
but
be
but
like,
by that
yeah.
point, he's already like, I control the nuclear codes. You know, like, oh fuck me, like, you know, like why would you be like, all right, cool, this guy sounds legit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it should have been like from a classic comic book because like I said, I am grading this like it is a throwback comic book movie, and I honestly feel like that's what they were going for. With the 1984 thing, they're like, what if we make this more like, you know, the earnestness and kind of goofiness that things used to be, you know, the Donner Supermans and the, you know, Burton Batmans and things like that, you know, because that's
It definitely is that, except for 2 or 3 things where they feel like they have to do a modern action scene, and you're like, this doesn't fit with what
Right.
you're doing.
But what I was getting to is like, you know, it should have been like an off day for Diana, and she just snubs Barbara at the wrong time. You know, like some shitty thing just happened to her, and she's just like, "Hey, Diana," is like, you know, like, and it was like a step too far, like, "Fuck you! You're the one person I wanted you to notice me," or something like that. Some motivation other than like her being fall over nice to her, unlike everyone else. Is just like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge if you're there, including like the HR lady who's clearly not cool. You know, I'm just saying like that lady's no fucking cooler,
She does
uncooler.
not need to work in HR.
No, I'm saying like she's no cooler or uncool than Barbara is in that movie. She's a fucking HR lady. I'm just like,
Yeah, Barbara's got like 4 doctorates.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
You work in HR, like you push paperwork.
Anyway.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
that's the thing. Like this movie, someone just needs to tell Barbara, like, look, just comb your hair and be patient. A few years, you're going to be the most popular quadra PhD person in the planet. You don't understand. Things are about to change.
Yeah, wait till the 90s. Like, nerds will be hot, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like, yeah, roll
Yeah.
your Dungeons and Dragons dice now and prepare for when nerds are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels it feels like there's so much in this movie, and then there's a lot of time where it's just like, what did they do for the last 45 minutes? Like, what happened? Like, what were all these characters doing? The dude's whole real estate oil venture, I feel like I know more about that than I know about anything else that happened in this movie. His whole weird Ponzi scheme, you know, and his angry investor, and it's just,
I honestly kept waiting for a reveal that he was actually one of the gods. I mean, I honestly thought that was coming. I thought that they were going to go to that well again, and it was like,
given the
hey,
fact
secretly
that
I'm Ares, haha, you know.
they never reveal who the god is.
No, they did, didn't they?
No.
All right, shit.
I could have sworn Diana says it when they're talking to the fake buying guy.
I thought.
Yeah, but in these kind of movies, you always get a minute-long flashback of that god doing evil shit in God time.
Well, this one was also like not a quote unquote Greek god. I don't think. Like, I think that
she
wasn't there a
said
scene where it was
she rattles
Aztec
off a
or
few
Incan?
things
when she sees the bracelet or whatever it is that used to hold the stone.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's just weird that there's no central villain in this.
Sure.
Like, the central villain unleashed this thing that causes all the movie's problems, but you never meet that person.
Sure.
It's just it's a weird evil plan to, like, I'll put this out there through time to destroy civilizations, and no one will ever know it's me.
All right, so this is my pitch for Wonder Woman 3, which they've already greenlit. I mean, I'm sure they're already like, oh, Patty Jenkins, you have to return because you're linked to this now, I guess. I don't know. I have nothing against Patty Jenkins and you know, continued work on Wonder Woman. However, I will say, I'm not saying it has to be him, but it's someone with this mentality. You need a Taika Waititi to come in and do Wonder Woman 3. And I'll tell you right now, I want one that goes all fucking in on Greek god shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Just lean into all of it.
Yeah.
Does all the Greek gods come back? Like,
No, I mean, I'm okay with yet another prequel. Like, make it before the first Wonder Woman. Like, some shit went down on Themyscira. I mean, she's been that age for however old she is. You know, like, I mean, she's quasi-immortal, right? So, I mean, it could be in, like, you know, 1200 AD, and she's probably still looks like Gal Gadot now. I don't know. I don't know how old she's supposed to be, or if they ever said. But anyway, just saying. Like,
it's just one of those situations where you hit 20 and then you're 20 forever.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Which, you know, works out for Chris Pine, I guess.
Anyway, I have no idea how old she's supposed to be. I'm just like, I mean, clearly there's some sort of, like, you know, immortality thing going on there. Because, I mean, they imply that, like, you know, her dad, they said something like that. And I'm like, yeah, who? On an island full of nothing but women. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of story there. Like, give me that. Like, give me this fucking big Greek epic with Wonder Woman kicking ass. Like, I'd be all about that. Anyway.
Yeah. I just.
I mean, not maybe like why I said Taika Waititi is like maybe it could be themed around that, just like how that's, you know, that one's a bit more Norse and, you know, you get immigrant song and shit like that. I'm not saying like, you know, I want togas and hail, you know, like, you know, like I'm just saying like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That.
I'm saying like I want some like Greek themed like future like, you know.
Well, no, now I want exactly that.
I said hail. I don't know why the Greeks would be saying hail, but Helios, I don't know. That's the sun. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, God, such a common theme this weekend that I saw was I wanted to like this better. And I really wanted to like this better. And man, like that opening scene in the flashback and then the mall scene, I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then it just fell off a cliff for me, kind of. You know, it was like
it
there's
stumbles
stuff that's
and
there's stuff that's fun, but it's like, yeah, but this isn't working. You know,
Yeah.
like this is just all taking too long to get where it needs to go.
yeah, I mean, like, again, like all the little things add up to your brain just goes, yeah, but this just isn't doing things right. Like the whole thing about the way Steve comes back, and apparently the dude that he has taken over has just gone off to the netherworld or whatever. He's just like Brad Pitt and Meet Joe Black. He's fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And then just pops back in
And
at
he
the
just
end,
doesn't
like,
exist
hey.
for a week.
Yeah, it's like, what I miss, you know?
And
And
this
it's
guy
like,
too, yeah. Like he's gonna hang out with his buds. They're like, dude, where were you when all the wish apocalypse happened? And he's gonna be like, oh, what was that?
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
get like a. Are they still doing the? Or I guess they're on their way to killing that DC whatever thing, right? Service.
Oh, it's dead.
Is it dead?
Yeah, they moved all that stuff over to HBO Max.
Wait, did they? I thought they had
What
moved
thing?
like Titans and stuff. I thought they moved Doom Patrol. I thought that was still had some
No,
exclusive
they
shows
started
on.
moving all the catalog stuff
Oh,
over.
okay.
And,
All right.
Yeah, I know Doom Patrol's on HBO.
Yeah, I know.
'cause
Well, like the new
keep asking
season,
me to watch it,
you know, pushed. You know,
and I'm like, nah.
they specifically pushed it the new season to that. I
Okay.
just like think Titans and stuff was still sitting over on that
Mm-hmm.
other service. Anyway, my point is like, I feel like they need to be more willing to do goofy shit, kind of like Marvel does, where like, yeah, give us a little like 3-part miniseries weird thing where it's that dude's story of like, where the fuck was I for a week? You just
Yeah, I missed the Marvel shorts that were like 5 to 10 minutes long
Yeah.
on the DVDs.
hell,
those
even
are
that would
neat.
be something. I mean, just something like
Yeah.
throw a little weird little short on there. I mean, I'm sure that dude would be happy to come back and like, I don't know who that was, but
Yeah.
like, didn't
Yeah,
see-
apparently in the original cut, she asked him out on a date, and he, yeah,
well, that's weird.
yeah,
Is he gonna find out like it's actually like Steve Trevor's nephew, great nephew, or something like that? Or,
Sure, it'll
yeah,
probably be done like that.
like the Sharon Carter, Peggy
Yeah.
Carter thing.
Yeah.
yeah. Who
Anyway,
knows?
But he never boned Sharon Carter that we know of, so that's a little weird.
Yeah, and there's way more thematic stuff that people pointed out, like the how you have a chosen one thing for Diana, and then with Barbara, it's like she's the poor person who suddenly gets all of it, and it's like, no, you're using all this the wrong way. It's like you could get into all sorts of
Mhm.
fun class system analysis based on that, but
Yeah.
but that's a whole endemic problem of how storytelling works currently. Like Star Wars fell in that trap too, where it was like you had the chance to have a nobody be the one who saves the universe. It's like, no, they actually have a lineage that ties back. It's like, God damn it. Like there's enough nepotism in Hollywood. You don't need to like shove it in our faces with everything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You're not born
But, yeah.
lucky. It's actually the midichlorians that are in your bloodstream.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just I wanted this to be better. I'm glad I didn't go to a theater and risk my life to see it, because then I'd probably be really pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine getting COVID because you went to see Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. Like, the first movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yes. No movie's worth dying over.
No, absolutely
Except
not.
maybe Gremlins. I don't know.
Sure. Maybe Gremlins.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Debatable.
if I could do my like wipe my brain out, and I've never seen The Empire Strikes Back, and I get to go to a theater and see it for the first time again. I might could die after that. Like I might be all right.
You'd be like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I don't need to know anything else coming after
Yeah.
this. Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like I've seen Star Wars. I've waited 3 years, and now I'm going to see The Empire Strikes Back for the first time, not knowing anything. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, speaking of Star Wars, if we're done with Wonder Woman,
sure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to talk to you guys last week about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
No spoiler stuff, but
Okay. Spoilers are over, everybody. Welcome back.
Oh yeah, sure. I spoiled that the movie I would see before I die is Gremlins, apparently. But
Yeah.
and
Part of the
Harlow,
spoilers.
it's Empire Strikes Back. But
Spoilers.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, the neat thing that I'm realizing about Mandalorian, which the second season ended strong. I know there's a lot of debate about what they did in that last episode, but I'm totally cool with it. I don't know if I like where this sets up the series going forward, because it seems like a place that's less interesting to me, but we'll see. But you could just tell like that Dave Filoni and maybe even Jon Favreau are kind of like the people like me who actually gave a shit about the extended universe in the 90s and all the weird side stories that they were telling, like the anthology books with like Tales of Mos Eisley Cantina, where it's like, oh, what was that devil guy doing? Like, okay, here's his story, like that sort of like random side shit.
Yeah. What was that Dracula up to?
Yeah. Yeah. And like that stuff is like, to me, that stuff is super cool. Like that you can give like this complete backstory to these side little characters, and that they're kind of like diving into that universe. And that universe was very much like, I mean, yeah, you had the main, like the Thrawn trilogy novels, like Heir to the Empire, and those where it was like, okay, this is Han and, all the people you give a shit about. And then like there were side books where it's just like Han Solo might walk through in a scene, and that's like it's like one page out of a 300-page book, and that was it. And that's kind of how these feel. Is it's like, yeah, this is the rest of that world, and it's a fun thing to be exploring. And I this season felt more like that than the first season did, in a way. Like the first season very much felt like its own thing, and this one, while the second half of the season felt like a lot of, all right, this one's a backdoor pilot for this, and there's a backdoor pilot for that, and as you've seen with the announcements, that's exactly what they were, which unfortunately is just what's going to happen with Disney, on for better or worse.
Right.
And I hope like everyone doesn't get spread too thin, and like that the showrunners that they get give as much of a shit as these two guys do. But yeah, I mean that was a fantastic season of television with one misstep that happens before the finale that kind of messes up a moment in the finale for me. But aside from that, I need to watch that. I want to watch both seasons over again right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still stuck where I was on episode 3 or 4. I haven't gotten to the end yet. But the Mandalorian, I think, is the content that most of us were hoping that Disney would do once it got its hands on Star Wars. And every time they would be like, oh, now we're doing a Solo prequel, and now it's like, no, come on, guys, forward. Let's tell all these wonderful stories that we can tell, and if you do it right, people will care. You don't have to keep going to the nostalgia well. You can tell lots of other stories in the same time period. I mean, I'm totally fine with an episode where it's just him and a random cowboy on Tatooine fighting a space worm. That's great. That's a great,
Yep.
Then they fight spiders in the next one. It's like, okay, these are fine. These are great little bits of Star Wars. These are fun. I give a shit about the main character. I give a shit about the supporting characters, and the situations this dude gets into are very interesting. So
Yeah.
I guess it just took the right dude to come along and be like, hey, no, we can do this. And I guess also to have a streaming service that needed content. So I guess we'll see how the content saturation thing works out.
Yeah. Have they put any of that on physical media?
I'm pretty sure the first season of The Mandalorian's on disc.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's weird to me. It's like there's all the extra stuff because they show it to me right after the episode. It's like there's Taika Waititi again wearing that hat. But
Ooh, look at you on your different colored hats.
yeah.
That hat.
But it's almost like that's one that I almost would want to have on the shelf. Especially if all that extra stuff is there. Even though I know I can just boot up Disney Plus and find it, it's like kind of like, that feels like it's worthy of the collection to be next to the other Star Wars stuff.
It feels like a thing that if you have a bunch of Star Wars media, you should have it.
Yeah, because to me, it certainly feels more worthy than the sequel trilogy did. And I've reached that point. There's a lot of stuff I like about the sequel trilogy, but it's like, no, I'll take the Mandalorian like 9 times out of 10 on all that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think we've talked the sequel trilogy to death, but I mean, like, the biggest problem is that there was nobody guiding the ship.
Yeah.
It was just, everybody do your own thing. We'll just have independent thought on a planned trilogy. That works well.
I will never understand that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Of just like, come in, just go nuts. And it's like, oh no, too nuts.
Yeah.
Well, and I still wonder what happened with Trevorrow, where he just like suddenly wasn't on it anymore. I mean, Book Henry couldn't have been that bad, but maybe it was. I don't know. But it just seems like he had a whole script. They had and it was like they just chucked it.
Well, I think, people weren't super high on Jurassic World when it came out, and then it just started turning even more. I think people were just like, not this fucking guy, Like, I mean, I was fine with Jurassic World when it came out, and then, I even like the sequel, But I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I like half the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to debate those. I'm just saying, like, it's people were pretty much got on the like, well, fuck this guy. I don't want him touching my Star Wars, which, whatever. People are weird, and the fan base for this is obviously toxic. So whatever.
Yeah, there's no pleasing these people.
Yeah, are there Mandalorian haters though?
Oh, I'm sure there absolutely is. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
What's their issue? What's their beef?
It's Star Wars.
Oh, aside from that.
I'm sure
Kathleen
there's
Kennedy has her name on it.
I'm sure there's some social justice worrying, like, oh sure, yeah, there's a big tough lady over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's that sort of bullshit. It's not like it's not legitimate complaints.
And then they were like, fuck, OnlyFans on this one episode. He's kind of hot. Shit. Now I'm confused.
Is really dreamy.
I secretly don't like ladies because I actually really like men, and I can't admit it to myself. And I'd be a lot happier if I did. Yeah.
The
Sounds
Star
about
Wars
right.
fandom, everybody.
Yes. Ta-da!
Yeah.
And see.
So Chuck, what else have you been watching?
Well, speaking of, okay, circling back around to comic books, I guess I was the first one to watch the New Mutants.
Oh, hey, look at you.
Yeah, all you hot New Mutants fans out there.
Oh, I don't know shit about New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why, like, one title I only read, like, the last few episodes leading into X-Force. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, which
All
is
right,
basically...
so
And
Mackey's
it was
the,
bad, in other words.
So Mackey's
yes.
the fan because he.
Yes.
It's this particular storyline that was making him mad that they were doing it.
Mhm.
So here's the thing about the New Mutants. It's not a good movie, but it's not its fault, I don't think. So they got like 80% of that movie done. And then, all the Fox Disney stuff started happening. And Disney took a look at that movie and they said, nah, fuck that. We're not gonna put any more effort into that.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do reshoots. They didn't do anything to salvage that movie, which at its core has a very interesting premise.
Mhm.
And I was into what that movie was trying to do, which was like this teenage
One Flew Over the
mutants-
Cuckoo's Nest with mutants.
kind of, but so they're teenagers, they're mutants. It's clearly in the X-Men universe, but it's a very horror-esque story going on. They're stuck in this asylum. There's spooky shit happening. What the hell's going on? I found all that really fascinating. It's just not executed well, and I think it's not executed well because they weren't given the tools to finish it. I think if someone at Disney had been like, yeah, wrap that up, get in there and do the things you need to do and make that a movie, it would have been good. But man, you want to talk about bad CG. The opening scene of that movie, you're just like, oh my God, this looks like an ABC Family show. This looks like this is
Yeah,
bad.
ABC Family is what I think of when I think of CG.
But that's what I'm saying. It looks like something that would be on basic cable.
The entire cast of Bunheads wasn't actually real.
I don't know.
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I got to get rid of this dog.
Take care of her.
Yeah, that's me dropping hot Bunheads references.
I like good Bunheads reference.
Well, I've never seen a second of the show, but it was like AMC's like pre-movie shit. It was like, hey, you're gonna love the new season of Bunheads on ABC Family, like they're about ballerinas and stuff. It's like, okay, it's like boring ass Black Swan, a lot less
Fun.
hot ass lesbian action.
All right. Sorry about that.
What?
It's all right.
All right.
So, New Mutants.
Yeah, New Mutants. Yeah.
Yeah, it deserved better. I think it could have really been something had they just paid any kind of attention to it. There's something there, and like the finale of it, when it gets to the thing that the movie is doing, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool actually, but it just needed something. It just wasn't all there. But man, that movie's a tight 90. And hundreds of things happened in that movie. Like I remember I watched it right after Wonder Woman 84 and was like, wow, so much more shit happened in the New Mutants than in Wonder Woman 84. It's kind of weird. But Wonder Woman 84 is a better film.
Yeah.
It's kind of okay. I would be interested in your take on it, Mackie, since you are familiar with the storyline.
Yeah.
And like these guys who did it wanted it to be a trilogy of films. They really wanted to tell this story, and they got, watered down to a 90-minute film. But
How did they do Cannonball's powers?
not a lot of. It's weird. Like the powers are very limited in this. A lot of times you see him chain himself to like a post outside and just fire off and just bounce around like an idiot.
Yeah.
And, he's always injured in some way. And
He doesn't say he's invulnerable when he's blasting.
I don't remember that line of dialogue. If he did say it didn't stick with me.
It's one of those things that in the comics, like he said it like a billion times.
Okay.
Because like in the 80s, every comic, whenever someone used their power, they had to mention how it worked.
Yeah.
Because if it was somebody's first issue, he was always like, I'm invulnerable when I'm blasting. It was like just a thing that like every single issue,
Okay.
whenever Sam used his powers, happened that way.
I will say the film is filled with questionable accents.
Yeah.
Just like, sweetie, you're doing your best. Like, like,
Yeah. How's Anya Taylor-Joy's Russian accent?
ooh, it is like us doing accents.
It is best accent.
Yes.
Wait, did she not have to do it? Was she not Russian in the chess thing? I don't know. I just assume
No,
all
she's
Russian players.
American.
I assume all chess players are Russian. So
No, that's the point. Is she has to go up against the Russians at some point.
Okay.
Yep.
One last thing about this movie, and it's just the one thing that I found a bit unsettling about it, is that there are an inordinate amount of shower scenes featuring these underage teenagers that are like, I don't know. It just, for some reason, was just like, these are children. Like, they aren't of age yet. Why is the scene persisting? Like, find another way to stage this. This just seems really strange. So I don't know, but because they filmed it, 3 years ago, it's fine. They're all legal now. So you don't have to be like, oh God, should I be looking at this? I don't know. Is this a crime? But so
Yeah.
it's weird. There's also a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in this. They're constantly watching Buffy on DVD in the rec room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's weird because they are just hitting you over the head with this one theme over and over again, that they're just like, hey, check out the scene in Buffy. Huh? That's actually going on in this movie too. Get it? It's like, yeah, I got it.
And they don't watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors either?
No.
Interesting.
So anyway, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah, I'll watch it soon. I
Interesting.
promise.
Interesting.
Should I? How many issues is this demon bear story thing? And would it make any sense if I jump right to it?
It's only like, they weren't really broken up into arcs back then. It was just kind of like a soap opera serial continuing thing. But I'd say it's like 4 or 5, if I remember right.
How far into the run of?
Oh, it's like issue 20, 21,
okay.
22,
So
23.
I could start from the beginning and get there pretty quick, is what you're saying.
I bet you if you went
Yeah.
to Comixology, there's a demon bear.
Yes, there
arc.
is.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That is usually the best-selling New Mutants one, aside from like the Rob Liefeld shit that sucks.
Right.
Well, it's got Cable. So everyone loves Cable.
Cable is not in this film.
And Deadpool, he shows up later, but he's not like the Deadpool that everyone knows because he's not cracking wise. He's just a dude.
Yeah, I don't remember when that happened.
What do you mean?
I don't remember at what point Deadpool went wacky in the Marvel Universe.
It was honestly like almost 10 years after he first appeared.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was. And
Maybe even more, like when they gave him his own series. But even then, it wasn't like that. It was like, I forget which writer it was, but somebody decided to like do the fourth wall break. And that's kind of when they were like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just kind of like, every writer after that was like, well, if he's breaking the fourth wall, I got to like find a way to top that. And, then it just became kind of this insufferable thing that, at least in comics where everyone was like, okay, we're all sick of Deadpool. And then they made the movie and everyone's like, okay, that kind of worked as a movie. So.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was just gonna say, like, that sequel to Deadpool is something that's grown on me immensely the more times I've watched it.
Yeah.
Like I was lukewarm on Deadpool 2 when I first saw it, but it works so much more the more I see it. Anyway, I have another movie to talk about. Speaking of things on streaming services,
Oh shit.
Oh, like everything.
yeah, I watched Soul, the new Pixar thing that popped up on
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
Yep.
And Jen wants to watch that, but we didn't have enough time tonight. How is it?
I liked it.
Is it better than Wonder Woman 84?
Is that the new yardstick? Is
I
that-
don't know. They
okay.
Well,
came
they
out the
both came
same
out
day.
Christmas Day on streaming services.
Sure, and I did watch them both in the same day, so. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a safe thing to say. I mean, that it's a more solid, put together thing. It's a much better written script. Yeah.
Animated movies tend to have that
Yeah.
because they have to plan everything out meticulously before they start.
It's weird. Like, I liked it, but I think I liked Inside Out better. and because I think they're from the same. I think it's the same guy. I didn't really
Pete
look.
Docter.
Yeah, I think.
Who looks like a Pixar character.
Yeah.
Just go on IMDb. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very similar kind of themed thing of, you know, analyzing life and emotions and things like that, and trying to, you know, what I mean,
Chuck just looked. I can tell by Chuck laughing. He just looked at his IMDb picture.
I did too. I just withheld the laughter. I know how to swallow these things.
Sorry, Pete Docter. You've done amazing work.
Yeah, but
Working
I mean,
in the right field, my man.
like I feel like Inside Out was like. I mean, Inside Out. I mean, you might as well pitch it. It's Herman's Head, the movie. But, I mean, kind of. But I mean, it really works because I feel like, in a way, that movie's kind of goofier. But I feel like it also has way headier ideas. I feel like this one is safer, in a lot, and it shouldn't be because I mean, this one's directly about death and the afterlife. You know, and it's like I feel like this is the one where they should have dropped some Disney bombs on people of like, oh fuck, this is gonna make me sob, or it's gonna be way deeper than I thought it was gonna be. You know, something like where it's like, holy shit, I was not expecting this. This one feels pretty safe. I mean, mostly like there's a Wreck-It Ralph quality to this movie that I don't care for, and I like Wreck-It Ralph, but I just feel like occasionally it's like. I think my big problem with like what Pixar movies and what Disney movies is like they've kind of flip-flopped. Is a lot of Pixar movies now like have the big characters and we're acting, you know, like characters that like were in Disney movies, and it's like Disney movies have kind of gotten smarter in a lot of ways of like, let's tell a good story and you don't need like the super animated character, you know, kind of thing. Like I like some of them, but like Tina Fey from time to time, it's like, okay, settle down. Like with your, I mean, character, not her, right? It's like, I mean, it's like, you know, it's just like,
No, she needs to settle down too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's getting a little uppity.
Settle down, Tina Fey.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's just this one's weird because it's like this one should be deeper and heavier than an Inside Out was, and I don't feel like it is, and it has a little slight annoyance to it, like you know the Penelope character, Sarah Silverman character for Wreck-It Ralph. You know, like a lot of people just hate that character, therefore can't get over the whole movie. But you know, I don't know. She's not as whiny or you know, doing whatever that character in Wreck-It Ralph is doing. I'm just saying it's a little bit much from time to time. I'm like, okay, you know, it's turn down the Robin Williams knob just a little bit. You know. But no, it's still really good. Like I really like the themes and you know, yeah, it's a good movie. It's still worth watching. Like I said, I would suggest watching Inside Out also if you haven't.
Yeah, that for some reason that's the one I just keep skipping.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's on Disney Plus at this point.
Inside Out is one of those like from the marketing looks bad. I will agree with you. Like when you see those characters outside of the movie, like the you know the flamey head guy, and you're like, oh good, look at that animated GIF for the angry guy. It's like it all comes across as like annoying, but that movie really works. Like as the movie itself, it's sort of like if you remove all the Iron Giant stuff and just be like, oh yeah, what's this weird robot? But you have no context, you know, and you're like, what's this goofy looking robot? When you see the movie, you're like, that's a fucking Iron Giant. It's awesome. I love him. I want to hug his giant self. Yeah. Yeah, but,
yes. I have all those reactions.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. I was saying like, you know, but if you looked at the robot and you've never seen it, it'd be like, I don't get it. What's with this goofy looking robot? Yeah.
Right.
It's just a building. What? Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, Soul's good. I think Inside Out is a little better and deeper.
Well, I'm glad they put it out as far as like just being a, hey, here it is, and didn't try and pull a Mulan with it or anything.
I think they learned
Mulan,
from
I can
that.
only assume is like was trying to recoup what they spent on live action making that. Whereas, you know, Pixar movies aren't cheap, but it's not the same level of commitment money wise that.
I think
Those
Mulan
tend
was
to
a
be.
test case. I think it was like, can we
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
$30 a pop on this?
And I guess it didn't work. Are they
Yeah.
still selling it, or have they finally put
No,
it out?
it's actually just free for everybody now. It's
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
They
Well,
moved it
whatever.
over to the.
It's part of the
Yeah.
regular library now.
Yeah, and I noticed Wonder Woman's only there for a month.
Yes, that's the
Which I
entire
guess is their
Warner
plan.
Brothers- Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it'll be back at some point. You know.
Yeah, of course.
which I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
I can get to a movie in a month if it's streaming. Like
Yeah.
if I only had a month to get to the theater, I mean, I might be like, I may not make it,
Yeah.
but
I will probably try to watch Wonder Woman 84 again before it leaves. I mean, I'm gonna wait a little bit, but I feel like I need to.
Yeah, I would watch it again. Too,
I just need to like see if my feelings maintain the second time. I'm finding that like a lot of movies, my opinion changes like from one viewing to the next. Sometimes where I'm like, why did I like this the first time?
Yeah.
Or why did I hate this?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's still watch Soul, especially if it's Disney Plus. It's worth watching for sure.
Okay.
Cool.
And I it's got people I like in it doing voices. Some of them you recognize, some of you didn't. Like I didn't realize Graham Norton was one of the voices in it, despite being like third build or something. It's Pixar movies. They don't show you the credits at the beginning. I think I knew Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey were in it. That's as far as it went. But Richard Ayoade is in it too. He's one of the people who's like, oh well, there's Moss. Okay, I know that voice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have 2 more things. Does anyone else have things?
Nah.
nope, I'm done.
Okay. So in between the Wonder Womans, I watched Tenet.
Yeah, Tenet.
That is a visually fascinating movie. From a visual technical standpoint, that movie is probably one of the most baffling in a good way. Like what is happening here? How are you doing this? And then you go read that they are doing all this shit in camera, and you're like, what the hell? Like, my God, like the thought process to make this work is insane. So from a technical standpoint, I'm looking at this movie, that is a fascinating motion picture. I think it stumbles in its storytelling in that for 2 reasons. One, because Chris Nolan has some weird ass fetish with the audience not being able to hear the dialogue. This is yet another movie where everything else in the movie is mixed over the dialogue. And so you're like, I can hear the waves crashing on this boat, but I can't hear the 2 people in the foreground talking. And they're probably having an important conversation, but whatever.
Has anybody figured out why he's doing that?
He's weird. He has this notion of the dialogue isn't important. But then he points a camera at people having dialogue scenes. I don't understand that. So I don't know. I don't know why he's doing it, but he does it here again. And I almost was, there was a point where I was like, I'm gonna have to turn the subtitles on. I feel like they're saying important things because there's a very important concept going on in this film, but I'm only getting every 3rd word.
I'm actually wondering if this is why I now like Interstellar. I didn't have this problem with watching Tenet, but my soundbar has that dialogue booster thing. So I wasn't having trouble because it just cranks up the center channel stuff a little bit more.
Right.
So I was like hearing the dialogue just fine, and I'm wondering if like this is why I now like Interstellar because I could actually understand what they were saying.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. I never felt like I was lost during Tenet. Like it's like when they explain the premise, I'm like, okay. And when they do everything, I'm like, okay, I get what you're doing. I just don't feel like the storytelling ever clicked. I don't feel like it fell into place like, oh, all right, groovy. This is neat. It was just like, I understand what you're doing. I'm going to have to sit down with like a notepad to map it out, but I get it. I understand what this person is doing this. And so that results in, I get all of this, but it just, I feel like there's a happy medium between like savvy film watchers and people in medically induced comas that you can explain a high concept thing and have it be right so that everyone is on board with it. And I feel like this movie just goes, it's this. And the characters go, yeah, it's that. And then you're just like, wait, no one's questioning this? This thing is fucking insane. What are we doing? And everyone's just like, it's obviously this. Let's just go do things. And it's like, no, this is like earth shattering. This is the craziest shit ever. How are you totally okay with what's happening here?
Yeah. Well, I also feel like there's a lot of people Doc Browning in this, where it's just like, this could have disastrous consequences. Ah, damn the torpedoes. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot of that too. I'm just like, man, this is some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I have to say, I didn't know who the villain was in this movie, and when he showed up, when Kenneth Branagh shows up in this movie, I'm like, oh shit, hi. You're doing another dumb accent, and I love it. Kenneth Branagh showing up in things doing dumb accents is like my favorite thing ever now. It's just like one when it's a surprise.
Wasn't he Russianing in this one? Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, real good too.
Yeah.
Real dumb Russian, like Lady in New Mutants Russian.
Oh yes, the best accent.
Yes. just man, that real dumb Russian accent is so good. So anyway, there are a lot of things I really liked about Tenet, and there are some things where I was just like, God damn it, just make a movie, dumbass. Stop being weird about things. So I don't know. I feel like when I watched Inception, I was like, Inception clicks with, I get this. Like, I get this.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's this. And you're like, yeah, it's totally that. Let's fucking do this. And then this is like, it's this. And you're like, yeah, but wait, I have questions. The movie's like, no time.
Don't think about it. We're just doing this.
I'm like, yeah, but wait, how come? No. So, but yeah, Tenet. It's an interesting watch. It is something like Wonder Woman I will watch again because it's like I really need to. I really need to be on board with what you're doing here, and I'm not quite sure.
I honestly hadn't heard that everything was done in camera.
Yeah,
I mean that blows my mind even more now. Actually,
yeah, like the one thing they do at the end with a building, and you're like, holy shit! Like the majority of that was in camera, and I'm like, how? How did you do that?
Okay.
So. I don't know. There's some real crazy like video gamey shit in that movie, and it's pretty nuts. But okay, this is the most important thing I have to talk about, and I want everyone within the sound of my voice to listen to me when I say this. Okay?
you watched.
I know what you're going to talk about.
You watched a fucking
'cause I already saw your
doggone Christmas,
Letterboxd.
didn't you?
Okay. You need to get to your Redbox. You need to get to your Amazon Prime rental service or your Apple TV or whatever. You need to rent the 2020 film Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe.
Oh,
Okay.
Especially for us, this is our thing. This is the kind of genre movie that they made in the 80s and 90s that they haven't made in a very long time. And it's fucking great. Like,
okay.
this movie starts and you see the Lionsgate logo and you're like, ah, shit, it's another one of these where it's a cheap ass movie with 1 star that they were able to pluck out of nowhere and throw them in there. No, this thing's great. This thing knows what it is and it's fucking going for it. And it is fucking great. And I'm begging all of you to go watch this. It is, if you like the kind of movies that we love, this is one of those. It's fucking crazy.
Where is Russell Crowe these days in terms of size? Like, I think the last time
400 pounds.
Well, last time I've seen him, I think was Man of Steel.
Okay, no, bigger than that. So he was doing the thing. He was doing a couple of miniseries where he was playing like Roger Ailes and other rather large people. He is close to 300 pounds in this movie. Now, the IMDb says that he wore a fat suit during this. I don't know if that's true or not, because this is right around the time he was gaining all the weight.
He did. It was just called Russell Crowe.
It was Russell Crowe's skin.
I mean, he's wearing a fat birthday suit, basically. That's what he was wearing.
But so like his character is mostly behind the wheel of a pickup truck in this, but there are a couple moments where he gets out and you're just like, oh my God, Russell Crowe, what has happened? I get it. He did it for a movie. He did it for a couple of movies where he bulked up.
Well, Gladiator was only 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure he, kept up that version.
Gladiator is actually closer to when actually Gladiators were closer to.
Now I want him and Gerard Butler to be in a movie and just really like, who is really just let themselves go to the point of just.
Look, I have never seen Gerard Butler where I was like, dude, stop eating sandwich. He is not 300 shape, obviously,
No,
but like everyone is ragging on him, and I'm like, I've never seen a point where I would pick a fight with Gerard Butler, and like I've hit points where I think I could take Russell Crowe.
Oh, you can just dodge and Russell Crowe.
That's what I mean. I mean, like still haven't hit a point where I would pick a fight with Gerard Butler. Yeah. I mean, that dude's Scottish, so I mean, he's going to be like about 90, and I still wouldn't pick a fight. I wouldn't pick a fight with Sean Connery even at the end. I'm just saying, like, Scottish are scrappy,
It's true.
Yeah.
Look, I'm joking around. I'm a big dude myself. I'm not making fun of these people. I'm just saying, like, the first time Russell Crowe gets out of the truck, you're like, oh my God, dude.
Okay.
Like I remember you in Man of Steel. You were like, you might want to hold back a little there. Now it's just like, oh my dear Lord. The best way I describe this movie is basically if they took Duel and Jaws, mixed them together, Jaws is driving the truck, and Jaws is played by Russell Crowe.
Okay.
It's so good. Oh my God. So I didn't think it was going to be, it was like the third thing that I rented at Redbox. I was just like, well, I'll get 3, and it turned out to be the best of the bunch. Like this is like the best thing I've seen all year. It's that good. So please, I'm begging you guys to watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
It does two things that we are constantly clamoring that movies don't do anymore, and it does them. And it's like I wanted to salute this movie. I was like, thank you. You heard me. You did the things that people love about movies and people stopped doing.
Okay.
All right.
So, there you go.
I'm on board.
Cool.
It also makes me question, like, okay, so this new Ghostbusters that may or may not be happening any time ever.
It's done.
Is it?
It's happening. For
Okay.
sure.
Well, I feel like they kind of sort of announced it, and then like COVID happened, and I wasn't sure if they ever filmed it because, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
this is like the people that are still alive are coming back, right? I mean, like, can't be Harold Ramis, obviously, right? But no,
It's unclear as to who is in it.
okay, all right. I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I've grown concerned ever since they sort of, kind of, maybe announced this, but I was like,
They put out a teaser trailer for it. They just
You know what, yeah, I
the
saw-
marketing never advanced to.
wasn't
the
that like
next
the
stage.
lightning storm in a barn and like the flap flies up? I saw that thing. Like, there's like
That-
something that
that
reveals
was-
the echo.
No, there
one.
was a trailer with actual footage. in
Oh,
it.
okay. I didn't see that, but
Yeah.
no, I
I'm
was like, how are they going to put Dan Aykroyd in anything that looks like a jumpsuit? Like, like.
Well,
I
they
mean-
solved that in the 2016 one by just having him drive a cab.
Well, I mean, like, like if he's going to put on a Ghostbusters suit, I mean, it's going to look like, I mean, like Goldmember in his jogging suit, only worse. Like,
They have CG now. They can do amazing.
so it
things.
is okay.
Yeah.
They'll just take his head and put it on someone else's body, like Chris Hemsworth's body. Yeah.
Put him in a big old Egger suit.
Yeah. I mean, like, as far as people that are now more than one person, Dan Aykroyd's way up there.
Yeah. No, that
Listen,
movie's
man,
definitely
it
happening.
happens to all of us.
Not
That
to
movie
degree.
should have been out 6 months ago.
Oh,
It's
okay.
one of the 20 movies that we already should have argued about.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm kind of thrilled. Like I'm looking for any bright moment in this fucked up year, but like the fact that we skipped out on Ghostbusters discourse and Bond discourse, and I guess a couple of the other things that we just didn't get this year is kind of okay with me. Like, thank God we didn't have to go through that.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we could have handled it.
No, it would have been. We wouldn't have known what to do.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I adore the original Ghostbusters. I've made no, I've never tried to hide that. I love it. And Ghostbusters 2 is fine. Like, there's a lot of things I like about Ghostbusters 2, but I mean, I've always, like, it's, Ghostbusters 2, fucking Ghostbusters 2, as far as quality. I mean, I'm sorry, it just is. And so, like, I mean, at this point, I'm like,
It's the Ghostbusters 2 of Ghostbusters movies.
it really is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm like, they're like, oh, we're going to make more Ghostbusters. I'm like, all right, do whatever. Like, I have no
Sure.
investment. Like, like, even as much as I love the first one, I'm like, there at this point, like, it wasn't even Star Wars. Like, we've already had more bad than good. Like, it's, comparatively speaking, it didn't take much,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever they decide to do, it might be all right, I guess. Maybe. I don't care.
All will
I
be
mean, that's what I'm
revealed
saying.
in
I
2021.
really don't
Like,
even care. Like, I'll watch it because it's called
So-
Ghostbusters.
Have they said when Bond is happening in 2021 yet?
No, I mean MGM
Wow.
just put themselves up for sale, so
Well, I thought Sony was the ones
Well,
handling.
wasn't
Bond
Netflix
at this
like
point.
up trying to throw a bunch of money at them to buy it? To put
They were trying to get Netflix to buy it.
Yeah,
yes.
well, no, I thought Netflix was the one trying to throw money at MGM to buy it. I thought it was the other way
maybe.
around.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a feeling we might be seeing Bond on the small screen as well.
I thought Apple was trying to do it also.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think they can go with like. They've got to get. I mean, Bond's got to go to something like Netflix, something that like almost everybody has. Like, there's too many people that don't subscribe to Apple or Disney or I mean, it's not going to go on Disney obviously, but I'm saying like you can't do one of these sort of quasi.
Oh man, that would be great.
You can't do like one of these kind of like niche services. I still consider Apple TV Plus to be a niche service because I mean,
Oh, it absolutely is.
let's face it, there's not a lot of content on it, and I wouldn't probably pay for it if I wasn't already getting it bundled in with other shit.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I like some of the content they have. I'm just saying, like it's not a service I would pay for, yeah, if individually. So. Anyway.
Anyway,
So,
so contact info, right?
yeah.
Is that usually what we do here?
I think so.
I think, yeah.
Website, BMFcast.com. We got most everything there, I think. The buttons are still there, maybe. They come and
Depends on
go.
the day.
They come and go, but there's usually buttons there at all of our social things, but most all of them are /BMFcast. I think actually all of them are.
Yes.
But most importantly, patreon.com/BMFcast. We even as little as $1 get you a ton of content. Chuck and I do an extra thing every week, which is basically like what our old second half was. No, actually, it's really kind of like what our old first half was because
It's
we watch a movie.
It's prime.
This show has continued at this point.
Yes,
just with only half the show.
Yeah,
we're trying to stay in practice so that we know what to do when we get back.
Right.
I'm gonna have no idea.
No.
I'm just telling you now. I'm gonna be like, did we watch movie? I don't know.
No.
That's why I suggested the movie I suggested, because that
what's
first
our
week back
rating
is going to be
system?
like, I don't know, 6 stars. What's the
12 gold blooms.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but most we have other things on there too, like higher tiers. We have a Doctor Who podcast and some other stuff, and there's voting. You can actually vote,
which will return. We've had a few delays getting the new one out, but
holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a difficult time of year always.
Yeah, we a lot of people plug their Patreon, but we actually put stuff there. So
right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying a lot of places like, hey,
it's not like hey, we'll thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you,
no.
or like we might make a thing a month. Like, no, we're putting some stuff out there.
Yeah, it is an actual exchange of goods and services. It is. You will get what you want. I'll say that, and really thank you guys for sticking with us during this entire year. I mean, like, we're doing everything that we can do, but I know it's been not exactly the stuff that we've been doing before, which is why you're at the Patreon. But the fact that all of you are still there and still donating and still on board with us, knowing that we will come back at some point and do the thing, greatly appreciated. Like, I'm just...
Yeah, we're still at 12.5% vaccination.
Yeah.
Be 25 next week, so.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I like the 1/8. That was a lot easier to math for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we'll be back soon. Except
maybe not next week.
Well, next couple of weeks we got some video game business to take care of. So if you wonder where the show has gone,
and then we'll have the Golden Jocks, which will be unique this year. It's going to be a lot different.
I mean, I was going to say, like, it would clearly, like, in some years we've like made an entire episode. Like in other years, it was like, this is second half content. Obviously, it's the only content we'll have for the week. But yeah, it's going to be a weird ass year because it's very few movies in the consideration.
Mine may have more TV seasons than movies.
I think this year is
going to spoil that now.
Just do that.
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to have to work.
Yeah. Because my list is pathetic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like a lot of the movies that we would care about never came out.
Right.
So, there's nothing we can do about that. So,
Yeah.
And then 21 will be like, okay, maybe we do our top 10 for the year.
Oh, yeah. The 2021 release schedule is going to be insane.
Yeah. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yes.
I am Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck. And this is BMFcast out.
And this is BMFcast out, motherfuckers.
Out, biatch.
What? What's happening right now?
We don't even know.
Me.
We're just trying to do radio
Time
voice.
for a big mustache.
You guys
Oh
got
yeah,
all
you took your
power
mustache
thirsty for a
off.
minute.
God damn it! Why did you do that?
I forgot I turned it off.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Thank you.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You look. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually kind of works.
It does. It fits.
I really
weird.
think you should go with this, but I'm guessing it wouldn't be that color. Is the problem?
You're
I'm saying,
a dapper-looking motherfucker right now.
I'm not making fun of you. Look at the gray. I'm saying if you could have a dark ass mustache and your gray wispiness, that looks pretty good. No.
Got milk.
Now that looks bad. You look like a high school.
Oh, that's great.
You look like a high school science teacher with that.
Oh, okay. Now I look like some fucking porn creeper.
Yeah.
Fucking my corner over here. Deep cut.
I didn't even hear what you said.
It's okay.
Mike Horner? What'd you say?
Yes, Mike Horner.
Mike Horner.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. Never mind.
Bing him later.
Okay. Is he an old porn star or something? Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
He had this mustache.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. All right then. I'm stopping recording here
Oh yeah.
and exporting.
Okay. That sounds great. I'm gonna do that too.
Yep. Export that old wave.
That old wave. Stop. Whew.
30.
Yeah. See, that's what you need. You need the little soul patch there too. That's what really makes it.
Okay, so this one then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You look like part of Morse code right now. You got a dash and a dot. Send help.
All right. I'm getting out of here.
Okay.
You want to hang out for the stash cast?
No, I have to get to sleep.
Aw, come on.
I have a dog that wakes me up in the middle of the night. It's not-
Bill gets my Mike Horner reference. Thanks, Bill.
I got it too.
Oh, okay, you just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah,
Come
maybe.
on. Embrace that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am the one who could. Yeah.
I didn't have anyone in my corner.
All right. Goodbye.
Wow, he fucking bailed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, good night for Mike Hawk.
you.
Good night, everyone.